Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhaled frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Hey. Welcome back, everybody. 4:02 in the Pacific Time Zone. Radical Russ here. And we got Big Island Zane on the other side now. Way over there.
Toker Talk. Toker Talk.
Wrong mic. My fault.
You're right.
Had to figure out where you were. You still there? No, you're not. Are you still there? There you are. Well, it was the right mic. I confused myself.
Nice.
But yeah, we've made some rearrangement here in the studio. So we've got Zane over there on the other side, and you can see in the right side of the screen, our big screen is up now. So Zane's got the somewhat live feed going. There you go. You can see it. Somewhat live.
Can't turn it too much.
That's right. And so that's giving us some new camera angles here in the studio, of course. So when we have Herb Thrasher Flower Hour later tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time, that's where Herb will be. And you want to check that out because Herb has got some pretty sick interviews that he wants to get to tonight. And, of course, it's metal guys that are really, really cool, but I don't know metal, so I couldn't tell you who they are. I've forgotten already. But he's really excited, and I know whenever he's excited, we have a great show, and there's some great interview stuff coming up. So stay tuned for that. And also, we have got, for today's show, some more Reefer Madness. This was one of our followers on the Radical Russ Twitter feed, out at Radical Russ, sent this my way. And boy, I am so thrilled. Our friends out at Project Samuel, Smart Approaches to Marijuana Use Except Legalization, have come up with a new website. A new website, folks. And I'm just going to, let me give you a look at this. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Let's see. They must be working on it because it used to have a big, I got to go to the homepage. There we go. No? All right. Well, they used to have a little cartoon up there. They're currently working on it. But I will show this to you. I got to restore just a little bit. All right. So this is a new website called GrassIsNotGreener.com. I'm serious. GrassIsNotGreener.com.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shrink this to the smaller size. Let's see if we can get some shot of this. The GrassIsNotGreener.com with the big bold head. Stop the marijuana industry from becoming the next big tobacco. Okay, so that
I'm
already.
curious what science they have. It says, get the science, get the facts,
Yes, please do.
Where's the science?
But, of course, right there who's behind that. It's a Project Sam thing. This is all Project Sam. If we go to the supporters here, you'll see the National Association of Drug Court Professionals, the American Society for Addiction Medicine. That's Stuart Gitlow. And get back up again. They're behind it. And then, oops, I scrolled down too quickly because their website's not very compliant. All right, there we go. Smart Approaches to Marijuana. There you go. Project Sam plus National Families in Action. I've always loved that name, National Families in Action. And now a new group, POP. Parents Opposed to Pot. POP. Right? So It's cute little logo. Let me go back because their logo is kind of clever here, right? Their logo has like a bubble, and in it is POP, parents opposed to pot, right? POP. But it's like a balloon, right? Like you're going to pop a balloon, right? So it's a balloon with POP in the balloon. And then like the string coming off the balloon forms a T for the to pot, but also makes the balloon say both pop and pot. Oh, it's so clever. It's so clever. I almost think they got a stoner to do it. It's pretty amazing. Also down here at the bottom, they've still got their Hello World post up, which of course is the first post you get when you make a WordPress blog, right? By Sam Admin, of course, learn about Sam. But anyway, some of the stuff, these guys are the ones that are behind a New York Times ad that was just placed. And let me get this New York Times ad up for you, because it too kind of shows you their idiocy. They don't even understand how behind the times they are with their ad. I didn't save it. Figures. All right. Well, in the meantime, I'll show you this ad because this one I do have ready. This is the one that's the Florida No on 2 Coalition. Their question 2 out there that they've got for medical marijuana. And the way that this little graphic ad is it's got a sign up at the top. It's in a medical office, right? And it says medical marijuana cards. And there's 2 lines of people. And on the left side line is a big long line of just everyday people, right? And then the right side line is one old lady in a wheelchair, right? Now, the old lady in the wheelchair is below a sign that says cancer, terminal illnesses. Like that's her line. And then the other line, all the other normal looking folks are under a sign that says sore throat, can't sleep, eating problems. Now, I know what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make it seem as if you get medical marijuana for just any old thing. But I think a lot of people that are looking at this would actually think, you know what? That would be nice to be able to sleep. Wouldn't it be nice if I had an appetite? Maybe this medical marijuana thing is something I ought to look into.
More like an ad.
Yeah, it's like, who is this an ad for? Us or them? That's what I want to know. So when we come back, we're going to do this Project Sam Grass is Not Greener website. You listen to the Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org.
All right.
And now, a message from former President George W. Bush to remind the American people of our responsibility in our nation's war on certain American citizens using non-pharmaceutical, non-alcoholic, tobacco-free drugs.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
That's right, America, use less drugs. Put down the Prozac, the Vioxx, and the Levitra, and turn to the herb. Use less drugs. Our national policy is no longer just say no, it's now just slow down.
You get me too high. I overanalyze. If you've ever been too high, then you can sympathize. You get me too high. And I start to fly if I said some silly thing, and that's the reason why.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with our Shoutcast stream for all internet-enabled media players. Go to rad-r.us/420shout or just click the Shoutcast icon below the live radio feed at 420.
Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz thinks it's okay for medical marijuana patients to go to federal prison. On May 30th, she voted against an amendment that would respect Florida's new laws and protect Florida's patients. Even though 88% of Florida voters support medical marijuana, why would Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz vote to send patients like this to prison? Is Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz out of touch with Florida?
Cannabis Cure TV with Greg DeHote from Sussex, England. Replaying Thursdays at 12 Pacific on...
I don't use marijuana, but as a teacher of 36 years, I can tell you lots of other people use it. I don't believe in prohibition. I don't think it works. Prohibiting it hasn't stopped anybody from getting a hold of it. I would like to see it regulated so that maybe kids can't get a hold of it so easily. I know they get a hold of it now very easily. I support a new approach to marijuana. I support legalizing it It's with us. It's not going to go away. And if we can get money through the taxation, we can also educate our kids about it. That's why I support it.
Welcome back, everybody. Just about 12 after the hour. Sorry for the delay there, but I was overlooking the Grass Is Not Greener site, and it looks as though Kevmo is trying to hide stuff now. He knows that, Russ saw it. Before I know it, he's going to start making infographics that debunk every single goddamn thing he puts up on the website. Which is true, Kevin. I'm always over your shoulder, buddy. So let me give you a look at some of the silliness. I got the New York Times ad for you, so let me bring that up first. Of course, the New York Times has called out for the legalization of marijuana. And where did I put it? Good God. Don't you hate when you do that? You know, you find something on your computer and you save it, and then you're like, where did I save it? And you just saved it. Yeah, I just did that. I hate it when I do that. All right, let's try it again. Save image as. Oh, because it went and did that ping large thing. Boy, I hate it when it does that. All right, let's try this again. New York Times Sam ad. Don't you love listening to me type on a computer? All right, so here we go. We're doing the best we can, folks. This is the ad that they put into the New York Times. This is supposed to scare people. This ad is supposed to frighten people about the prospect of marijuana legalization. And so I'll make it a little bit larger so we can read it. And, well, wrong direction, Russ. Larger, he said. All right, but there's the whole ad. You can see the whole ad at that resolution at least. And what you've got, for those of you listening, is a picture of a guy in a suit, like in a boardroom, kind of leaning on an executive table, right? But over the face of the executive guy is a picture of a hippie dude with long hair and sunglasses, hair blowing in the wind, right? And captioned next to the hippie dude's face is perception. And captioned next to the businessman's body is reality. Perception versus reality. We think it's just a bunch of hippies, but it's really businessmen in suits. And so the ad's text says, the legalization of marijuana means ushering in an entirely new group of corporations whose primary source of revenue is a highly habit-forming product. Sounds a lot like another industry we just put in its place. Many facts are being ignored by this and other news organizations. Go to GrassIsNotGreener.com to see why so many major medical associations oppose marijuana legalization. GrassIsNotGreener.com. This is an ad for us. Like, I'm sure people that are sitting around, you know, those unemployed folks that have actually dropped off the unemployment rolls and have even stopped looking for work because there are just no jobs to be had, are reading this going, oh, wait. So legalization isn't just a bunch of hippies. It's real business guys who are going to pay taxes and create jobs and revitalize our economy and not chop off the heads of their rivals. This is actually doing us a favor by upgrading the image of what the marijuana business is all about from being outlaws and hippies to being respectable business people in suits. Ah, man. Well done, Kevin. Well done indeed. So, yes, the scaremongering about big marijuana is continuing. Oh my God, there's going to be a big marijuana, you know, not the current big marijuana, the Mexican cartels and the street corner kids and the clandestine national forest growers and such. Not the current big marijuana. There's going to be a new big marijuana that has boardrooms and suits and ties and pays taxes and creates jobs and obeys laws and files for licenses and has insurance and guarantees the purity and the potency of their product and the growing techniques used for it and can determine exactly where it came from and where it went to and how much THC and CBD is in it and so forth. Oh, no. Oh, dear me, it's my stars and garters. Oh, dear, big marijuana's coming. Oh, they've so jumped the shark. It's just so fun. It's so fun to be alive at this time when prohibition is dying its deserved death. Now, on this website, GrassIsNotGreener.com, when I went to it earlier today, it had all these infographics. It had this nice menu item for infographics that you could go to, and it would list them all, big long stream of them. Nicely done infographics. They're very pretty. Easy to click and download. Easy to right click and save as. Easy to spread around. Now, just later, 3-4 hours later, that menu item's gone. That menu item is gone, and now in its place is this, which is their website, right? And they've just got one of these slideshow things showing their little infographics, right? But you can't right click on that and save as. That's going to give you a web page, right? Save it as a web page. No, I don't want to save a web page. I want to save that graphic. Can I save that graphic? Nope. No save image anymore. I can't save the graphic. And I can't pause it either. I can't stop this damn thing. It's just going to go right flying on by no matter what I do. But it's their little infographics with the myths and harms. Oh, and by the way, can't even handle the formatting of it because, as you can see, it's cutting off. That's not me cutting off the top of the graphic there. Oh, there's my pin it. Let's see if we can get a pin. That'll work. There we go. We're going to pin that. All right, so we'll get those Pinterests done a little bit later. But anyway, maybe if I hover on this, we can get this pop-up to happen. But no, I'm not going to happen now. All right. Somehow I did something. Anyway, this gives you an idea where they're at in their web design, right, as far as user interface and ability. But anyway, this is cutting off the graphic as well, so you can't quite see it all. I'll get rid of my graphic so you can see all of this here, right? So it's cutting it off, but here's the slide, and I'm showing you all the slide I can show. The rest of it's cut off by their website. I know what it says on the top here that says, myth, alcohol and tobacco make the case for legalizing marijuana. And this is where he tries to make the argument that, well, because it's illegal, it's not popular, and if we legalize it, there'll be more laws to enforce, and that'll be more police time. That's this little argument. So he says, percentage of teens able to obtain within 1 day, alcohol 50%, tobacco 44%, marijuana 31%. But this is some cherry picking statistics because from those same studies he's taking these statistics from is where you find the kids that 80 to 90% say it's easy or fairly easy to access marijuana, that 44% of them know someone in school that deals drugs, and that person who deals drugs does not deal alcohol and tobacco. The alcohol-related arrests are 3 times greater than marijuana-related arrests, owes much to alcohol turning you into an asshole. Because people get into drunk driving and domestic violence and, public drunkenness. Of course, alcohol arrests are 3 times greater than marijuana arrests, considering that there's far more people using alcohol than marijuana by his own statistics. He says something like 53% of the people drink and only 7% of the people use marijuana. Isn't that somewhere on the order of 7 times greater? About 7 times greater use? So there's 7 times greater use of alcohol, something that's deadly dangerous and causes people to act like assholes, than there is marijuana arrests, something that's harmless for the most part and illegal and causes an arrest at any time. Yet there's 7 times more drinkers. Only 3 times more arrests. Could it be that regulating it is doing a better job than prohibiting it. Could be. That's just my theory. Hey, it's 4:20. We got to take a safety break. We'll be right back with more of Grass is Not Greener when we return.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with the TuneIn Radio app for all mobile platforms. Go to rad-r.us/420tunein or just click the TuneIn Radio icon below the live radio feed on.
What the authorities should do is decriminalize pot use. You want to do it in your house, not bother anyone? Fine. Go outside with a joint or a pipe, you pay a fine.
Join us for the International Cannabis Business Conference September 13th and 14th in the Portland Ballroom at the Oregon Convention Center. The International Cannabis Business Conference will focus on the emerging cannabis industry in Oregon, the United States, and around the world, putting you in front of the industry's foremost entrepreneurs, political leaders, and attorneys. Also showcasing over 40 cannabis-related industry exhibitors, offering VIP lunches and free nightly networking events. Prepare yourself for America's next great industry.
Georgia. Hi, this is Willie Nelson. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 1920s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stopped arresting responsible marijuana smokers. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
At Herbie's Cannabis Seeds, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best quality seeds from the world's most respected cannabis seed producers, all at the lowest online prices. You can find Herbie's seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. All cannabis seeds are sold as souvenirs and as a means of preserving cannabis genetics. Herbie's Seeds in no way intends to condone, promote, or incite the use of illegal or controlled substances. We strongly urge all prospective customers to check their national laws prior to placing an order. Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. Proud sponsors of The Russ Belville Show and 420 Radio. Are you a hypocrite? If you live a closeted cannabis lifestyle, you are. Read about 7 people living a closeted cannabis lifestyle who are on the verge of coming out in The Hypocrites by Mara K. Eaton. Available at areyouahypocrite.net. You can purchase the book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, also available on iTunes. Check out Mara K. Eaton on Facebook as well. Learn more at areyouahypocrite.net.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Rockin' Friday, featuring rock, metal, and the hard edge of alternative country. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 24 after the hour, and we got Herb Thrasher on the line. He's made of metal and marijuana, and he's here to rock your world. What's up, Herb?
Oh, man, another great Friday. Real excited to get back there to Roller J Studios tonight and have another Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Haven't been in that seat in a while and get caught back up. Had a great week this week. On Monday, went and met Max Cavalera of Soulfly and Sepultura fame, and we're going to be airing his interview tonight at 8 p.m. So real excited to play some great tunes and rock out and just kind of get caught up with everything.
Yeah, really looking forward to the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour tonight, live at 8 p.m. Pacific, and you can get a dose of it at 5 p.m. coming up in just a half hour here on 420 Radio. You catch the last episode, and that was a good one too, so stay tuned for that. And of course, also here for today's Rockin' Friday tune, Huck's song, but I don't know who the artist is. Can you tell us about him?
Yeah, man, this is the Rumpke Mountain Boys, and these guys are out of Cincinnati, Ohio. and had the pleasure of a couple weeks ago, we went to the Northwest String Summit. And if you guys keep following 420 Radio's Facebook page, Twitters, and my Herb Thrash and all that, we'll definitely start getting a lot and tons of footage and pictures out very soon. We're working on that hard right now. But these guys were at that festival, and this is one of those late night deals where everyone's stoned and the music's gone. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and there's only one band playing up there on the hill on top of the Further bus. That's right, that Further bus was there. And the Rumpke Mountain Boys were on top of that bus and played a 3-hour set and totally blew us away. And we learned, and Russ, get this, here's a new one, trash grass.
Trash grass?
That's the music. Trash grass is what we got right here.
Okay.
There's the new genre for, this emergence of the jam band scene and the bluegrass scene has been forming together and melting together for years. And nowadays it's just turned into this whole new kind of genre, and there's bands coming from all angles, and this is trash grass. And these guys have won awards. Their best bluegrass last 7 years from the Cincinnati Entertainment, so definitely been around. They love touring, always on the road. They love playing campfires. At the festivals, after everyone's asleep, they'll go and find a campfire, and they'll play that campfire, and then people will follow them and go to another campfire, and that's what they do. So you guys definitely turn it up. Check this tune out. This is a shredder. Join us tonight at 8 p.m. right here on 420radio.org, and we'll talk all kinds of metal, rock, and definitely air our Max Cavalera interview. So you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and this is the Rumpke Mountain Boys. Hook song.
Turn it up, folks. It's time for some trash grass.
Give me just one more puff. I ain't got no time for no messing around. Baby, just burn one down. Does anybody know that George Clooney song? I'm pretty sure he wrote it, but the words are wrong. Can't stand to look at him. I gotta get in the way of him in constant sorrow all the live long day. In constant sorrow all the live long day. You and me together gonna change our heads. First you do a little puff and then you do a little pass. Try to make a love go round. If it wasn't for you folks, well I'd never get high. I stay stone sober till the day I die. Pick a little banjo, maybe that's why I can't afford it back no matter how hard I try. Circle and your weed is brown. Grab it from your hand and flush it down. I've been spoiled with the bubble ash and Ohio weed. Tender, tasty loving as the grown will see. Well, your jar is open and your nuggets hanging out. I can tell by your smile that the show leaves no doubt. Pick one on out, pack it on in. We can puff it if you want to. Just let it begin. in the clink for to waste some space, so a petty raper killer come and take my place. Surely is set to make a citizen's arrest while a cop just thinks that he's giving it his best. Plan should be legal, even if it's earned, but at least he won't see me on how to catch a predator. Well, now we've come to the end of this song. It's time for us to leave and go hit the bong. Well, I'll get just as stoned as the day is long. Son told me to write a marijuana song. So now, burn one down and light one up. Oh Lord, give me just one more puff. I ain't got no time for no messing around. Baby, just burn one down. Baby, just burn one down. Honey, just burn one down. I guess after Willie knows. So what now?
You can get 420 Radio on the go with the Ustream video app for Android and iPhone. Go to rad-r.us/420Ustream or just click the Ustream app icon for Android or iPhone below the live radio feed at 420radio.org. The International Cannabis Business Conference takes place September 13th and 14th at the Portland Ballroom in the Oregon Convention Center in Portland, Oregon. Featured speakers include Oregon Senator Floyd Przansky, U.S. Congressman Earl Blumenauer, Daily Dish blogger Andrew Sullivan, author Doug Fine, and Harborside CEO Steve D'Angelo. To learn more, visit our website at internationalcbc.com. The Marijuana Business Association, or MJBA, are proud sponsors of the Russ Belville Show. It is the mission of the MJBA to establish integrity and legitimacy, create common market standards, provide market intelligence, and develop best ethical business practices for participants in the emerging legal marijuana industry, including commercial hemp, medical marijuana, and recreational marijuana for adults. Learn more about the Marijuana Business Association and visit mjba.net to join today. That's mjba.net. Weed Porn Daily with Oscar Diaz from Florida, replaying Mondays at 12 Pacific on 420radio.org. The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, treat law enforcement with respect and stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney." Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com.
You know Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, we've got frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs, we've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com and follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. That's music from Freedom Hawk, Indian Summer. That's some of the rock that we play on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Got a replay coming up at 5 o'clock. That's just 25 minutes away. And then at 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern, we go live. 2 hours, me and Herb Thrasher playing some rock, some metal, some trash grass, and having a good time. Also, interview with Mark Calavera from Sepultura, among other bands. That's coming up tonight on Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. And those of you watching on the webcam, that's we got Budcam back up. And so you are looking at some fine Oregon marijuana that we got at the, what is it, Cascade? God, I forget what the name of it is. It's the one that's downtown on NATO Parkway. Cascade something. Anyway.
24/7.
They're 24/7. Yeah, they're a pot shop. They're 24/7. It's very nice when it's like 11 at night and you're like, hey, you know what? I could use some pot. And there it is. So that this is some, I believe this is Cinex that came up at a 21.5% THC. So we are happy about that. Yeehaw. I'm Radical Russ. You got Big Island Zane sitting over there across the way at the new reformulated recording desk.
I got a little station here.
You got a station?
Yes.
You got a board and everything?
Yeah.
And eventually it will do something.
Love it.
We're moving step by step, and you can kind of see the monitor screen that we have now for the people that are in studio. Our guests over the side will be able to see themselves on delay. It's like a 8 or 9 second delay, though, so there we go. Some new changes here at Rolla J Studios. And speaking of Rolla J Studios, as I mentioned on yesterday's show, Left Wing Larry will be moving back to Colorado. We'll be moving to Colorado. And I'm going to be in need of roommates if I want to stay here. And it costs $750 per floor to live here. That's with all the utilities included. I'm living in the basement. We've got a main level that has a bedroom, full bathroom, kitchen, living room, etc. And then we have dining room is the etc. And then we have on the top level a bedroom and big closet and half bath. You know, it's got like a toilet and a sink and everything, but you have to shower downstairs. Each floor is available, $750 per roommate. Also have a big backyard that's fenced and already has a dog door built, a big dog door built into the back door. We've got a covered garage in which I've got some really cool lights for growing from Lush LED lighting that I don't grow. You don't want me growing. I'm not a grower. I know my limitations. But if you're a grower, I could really use you as a roommate. So serious about this. I don't want to move. I've had it with moving. I love my location. I love this studio. So if you know of anyone that wants to live in beautiful Potland, Oregon and can afford $750 a month, send them my way.
Yeah, Russ, you're pretty close to some dispensaries too. You're pretty near to Sandy, which has what, 5 dispensaries?
5 dispensaries on Sandy Boulevard. A major regular bus line that runs up and down. The 12 bus is like an every 15-minute bus. We are like 2 bus stops away from the train station. The what's that one?
Max.
Yeah, but
Yellow
it's
line.
Park Rose. The Park Rose Transit Center, where you can get on the Max to go straight to the airport, or straight to the
red line,
or straight to the Union Station, the train station, or straight downtown. Or you can catch the 12 bus and go straight downtown. It's very, very bike friendly. There's so many places to eat within walking distance. It's ridiculous. There's a Safeway within walking distance for shopping. There's a liquor store across the street. There's a theater across the street showing Guardians of the Galaxy in 3D that I got to go see. It's a great place to live. That's why I don't want to leave. And I got a big screen TV. I got cable. Got HBO.
Well, Russ, I think I got a possible roommate for you.
We'll talk about that. All right. One other thing I got to talk about, and then we'll switch cameras on this one. The latest edition of High Times Magazine, Pot Jobs, Start Your Cannabis Career, Top Head, Hydro Systems, Grow Guide, Ultimate Dab Lab, Cops Gone Wild, etc. This is the October 2014 issue, and right there, page 21 in the High Witness News, my latest article, Cops and Canicide. A picture of a nice pit bull there. Beautiful dogs. Wonderful dogs, pit bulls. That's one thing I don't like about Portland. You know, like, sometimes I get pegged as being like this lefty liberal guy, right?
Right.
But there's some places where lefty liberals piss me off, and one of them is breed bans. When they have these breed bans. Oh, no.
The pit bull thing.
Yeah, no pit bulls, no Dobermans, no Rottweilers. Look, no one dog is any more aggressive or vicious than any other dog.
You try riding a skateboard around Portland, you find a lot of vicious dogs, man.
And they're of all kinds. They're of all kinds, right? It's the quality of the owner, not the quality of the dog. So I just hate these breed bans. And by the way, they're so easy to get around. All you got to do is get your dog labeled as a service animal. And there are no like standards on service animals. Mm-hmm. And thanks to the Americans with Disability Act, they can't even ask you what the service dog is for, what he's servicing, how you got him, why you got him, what your condition is, nothing. So people I know with pit bulls just get service animal designations, and then you can't discriminate against them, and then you can't charge them pet rent or pet deposit. So they actually get screwed by having the pet ban. If you didn't have the pit bull ban, people wouldn't go to that length, and they'd just go ahead and pay your pet rent and pet deposit. But you force them to have to go this sneaky way of making them service animals, and then you get nothing. You're screwing yourselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to give you a read of this article because I'm really proud of it. So this is from the High Witness News, October 2014 issue, High Times Magazine, Cops and Canicide. The police are routinely murdering dogs in their marijuana raids. Where's the outcry? Canicide by cop is the phenomenon in which law enforcement officers shoot and kill pet dogs in the performance of their duties. People may imagine the scenario of a late-night no-knock raid in which a cop has to shoot a snarling pit bull charging to attack him, even though the cop is wearing bulletproof armor and there's never been a documented instance of a family dog killing a police officer. However, the reality is that cops are killing pets as a matter of routine procedure, and sometimes as a method for achieving the shock and awe intimidation of drug raid victims. Canicide by cop doesn't just take down pit bulls, Rottweilers, and German Shepherds. It also kills corgis, dachshunds, and even chihuahuas. And the death toll extends beyond man's best friend. In one Ohio incident, a humane officer responding to a call about a litter of feral kittens living in a woodpile shot them all to death in full view of a group of screaming children. While in Staten Island, in a bust over a misplaced traffic cone, believe it or not, the cops even stomped a parakeet to death. Where is People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, on this issue? Why haven't we heard from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA? Shouldn't the Humane Society of the United States be addressing the media about this epidemic of animal killings by police? That's right. Epidemic. There are so many instances of canicide by cop that Dogs Shot by Police, a Facebook page founded in 2012, has over 10,000 likes. The site contains hundreds of local news stories about devastated families whose beloved pets were pointlessly executed by the police. In one case in Louisiana this past April, 2 young men were traveling from Maine by hopping freight trains. Accompanying them was a 14-month-old Newfoundland Labrador Golden Retriever mix named Arzy. To escape the rain, the 2 men and the dog sought shelter in the back of an empty truck in a parking lot. Police arrived with guns drawn to investigate. The 2 men were polite and compliant and even tied Arzy's leash to a fence when ordered to do so by the police. One of the cops cuffed the men and turned them away from the dog. According to an eyewitness working nearby, the cop bent down and petted the friendly Arzy. He then backed up and shot the dog in the back of the head. According to the 2 men, the cop smiled at them and claimed Arzy bit him in the foot, something the eyewitness says never happened. Cases like Arzy's are not as common as the ones in which police serve a warrant in the marijuana investigation and then kill the dogs to teach potheads a cruel lesson. In Detroit, cops making a marijuana bust shot a man's pit bull, which was safely confined behind a locked fence. They then entered the home to chase down and shoot 2 other dogs in the back, even as the owner begged the police to be allowed to put the dogs out of harm's way. In another pot raid turned dog massacre, a Columbia, Missouri police officer was heard explaining, quote, "When you deal dope and the police have to come to your house, that's what happens," end quote. But what about non-lethal options like tasers and pepper spray? According to New Jersey State Patrol Captain Stephen Jones, who was responding to an incident in which the state police shot and killed a woman's dog in an alley, tasers are, quote, generally not too effective on a charging animal. Pepper spray is clearly not effective on most dogs, end quote. Then why do postal workers, delivery men, and meter readers carry pepper spray? I reached out to PETA for a response, but I've never heard back. I even wrote directly to one of their most prominent board members, animal lover and pot-smoking comedian Bill Maher, hoping he'd help focus attention on some of the most common legalized animal cruelty happening in America. I never heard back from him either. Now, maybe if somebody were skinning dogs for fur coats, a la Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians, there'd be some reaction from PETA. To their credit, the Humane Society and ASPCA have at least tried to address this epidemic happening in America. According to an article on the Huffington Post, quote, groups like the Humane Society and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals offer free training to police departments, but both organizations said few departments take them up on the offer, end quote. It's a shame they don't, because it's the same kind of training that postal workers receive on a regular basis on understanding canine body language, establishing dominance, and dealing with the few aggressive dogs there are out there. Meanwhile, the cops in these stories are rarely disciplined and almost always keep their jobs. What happens is this. The police department conducts an internal investigation and routinely finds that the officer acted according to procedure. The cops are trained to neutralize the threat of a dog during a search or arrest, and department protocols always back them up if they claim they felt threatened by the dog. Psychologists often say that cruelty to animals is the first sign of a developing sociopath. So perhaps we shouldn't allow such cruelty to be a part of any police department's standard operating procedure.
Continue the conversation with Radical Russ online. Visit radicalruss.com and email radicalruss@gmail.com.
It's the latest issue of High Times Magazine, October 2014, on your newsstands today with the Pot Jobs cover. I'm in the headline, or the High Witness News, page 21. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll finish up on Kevin Sabet and Project Samuel's GrassIsNotGreener.com debacle. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show.
.420 Radio is 24-hour marijuana legalization radio. Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420.
Congressman Doc Hastings stood up for Washington's medical marijuana program and patients like Larry Harvey. Larry and his family are being prosecuted by the federal government, even though they were following Washington's 16-year-old medical marijuana law. On May 30th, Congressman Hastings voted for an amendment that would protect Washington's medical marijuana program and its patients from federal interference. Will the next representative from District 4 respect Washington voters? No, before you vote.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fired.
The song's called Good in Hell. It's dedicated to this guy right here who used to play once board for us. He died this year before fucking Christmas. He was only 20 years old. He would have been here out drinking all of us, so he's a badass motherfucker.
Welcome back, everyone. 50 after the hour, Radical Russ here, hanging out with Big Island Zane at Rolla J Studios in Portland, Oregon, and concluding the week with some comedy. We've once again got the website for Project Sam's new response to the New York Times editorial. They put out an ad, and we showed you the ad a little earlier. Now we'll look some more at the website, where they have a heading entitled Research. Without regard to the science, the New York Times became the only prominent daily newspaper in the U.S. to support marijuana legalization. That's not true. There's a whole bunch of daily papers that have supported legalization. I don't have the list on me, but it's more than zero. But here are their top 10 reasons to oppose legalization. I got one per minute. Let's go. Number 1. Marijuana legalization will usher in America's new version of big tobacco. Okay, well, we already have a big marijuana. It's cartels, criminals, and kids. I'd rather it was taken over by tax-paying, law-abiding, ID-checking businessmen that create jobs. I think that would be better. The quotes that they include in here, it's hard to tell if they're pro or con. For example, the former head of strategy from Microsoft has said he wants to mint more millionaires than Microsoft with marijuana, and that he wants to create the Starbucks of marijuana. And I bet a whole bunch of people without jobs and a whole bunch of cities that are going bankrupt are saying, hey, that doesn't sound like necessarily such a bad thing. Since people are smoking pot already, how about we make some money off it? Of course, also in here is a little bit of the what about the children, with marijuana food and candy as being marketed to children, which is hard to understand considering that it's not available to them. You know, Trix is marketed to kids. Cocoa Puffs is marketed to kids. They put them lower on the shelves in the stores where the kids can see them, and they put cartoons in the ads in the Saturday mornings to get the kids to beg their mommy and daddy to buy them. Nobody's making any commercials for marijuana edibles for kids. No kids are seeing marijuana edibles in any stores because they can't get into them. Number 2. Oh, I overdid it on that one. Marijuana use will increase under legalization. That has not happened so far in Colorado or in Washington state. Marijuana use seems to have remained steady. He says in here, because they're available and accessible, our legal drugs are used far more often than our legal ones. I love this one. Because they're legal, they're popular. If we keep them illegal, they'll be unpopular. 52% of Americans use alcohol, 27% use tobacco, 8% use marijuana. See, the legal drugs are used more often. Except for the fact that both of those legal drugs are down drastically in how much people are using them, despite the fact they're still legal. And marijuana is just as illegal as peyote and LSD, but very few people use peyote and LSD compared to marijuana. And marijuana use is down from its peak in 1979, even though we've made it more and more illegal. So none of that works out. Number 3, marijuana is especially harmful to kids and adolescents. Well, okay, I have an idea. Let's not legalize it for kids and adolescents. There we go. Of course, he says marijuana contributes to psychosis and schizophrenia, which has been debunked in a number of very recent studies, including Harvard. Addiction for 1 in 6 kids who ever use it, which once again means that 1 in 6 kids who ever tries marijuana will grow up to be an adult who uses it 4 times a month or more. Ooh, look at the marijuana addict who smokes a joint on the weekend. Ooh. And reduces IQ among those who started it before age 18, which we all know is poppycock and has been debunked numerous times. And we could just say since 1950, IQ has risen globally, yet as marijuana use has risen globally. Number 4, and damn it, Kevin, I'm going to start demanding royalties on this one. Today's marijuana is not your Woodstock weed. In the 60s and 70s, THC levels was around 1%. THC in the 60s and 70s was around 1%. Yeah. Have you seen the Woodstock movie? Zane, have you seen it? You ever see the Woodstock movie?
No.
Oh, you got to see the Woodstock movie. Those people were smoking some pot.
High grade.
They wanted some 1% pot that was leading to I am the walrus, goo goo gajoob, goo goo gajoob. Come on now. They're smoking some dank shit back then.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5. Marijuana legalization will increase public costs. For every $1 in alcohol and tobacco, it's $10 in social costs. Really? So, $30 million in tax revenue in Colorado. Are you trying to tell us there's $300 million in marijuana damage so far? Really? We've debunked this so many times, but once again, it's better to take in some tax to cover what costs there are already, which again, you never list, Kevin. You never list what marijuana costs now. You never list that. There is marijuana now. You could make an estimate. Other researchers have. In Canada in 2002, they estimated that the cost of a tobacco smoker was $800. The cost of a alcohol drinker is $165, and the cost of a cannabis smoker was $20. So that's the problem. Is, see, when you make an estimate, people go, oh, wait a minute, I think we could come up in $20 worth of taxes from a pothead every year. Oh, and I love that few people are in prison for marijuana possession. Only 0.1% of prisoners with no prior offenses are in prison for marijuana. Again, we have 1.5 million prisoners, so 0.1 is what? 1,500 people? For just pot. Okay. And again, people are not in prison for small-time marijuana use. 0.3% of all state marijuana inmates were behind bars for marijuana possession only, many of them pleading down from more serious crimes, like growing or selling marijuana that we also propose to legalize. Look, 0.3% of 1.5 million is about, 4,200, 4,500 people? Still a whole hell of a lot of people that are in jail just for marijuana. And also, that statistic purposefully hides the people that end up back in jail smoking a joint when they're on probation. People that were busted for child endangerment or a firearms violation because they happen to have kids or guns near what they were doing with marijuana. All sorts of conspiracies and intent to delivers that you can add on to a simple possession to jack up the sentences that are possible. This is done all the time. So any numbers you throw at me, Kevin, with having to do with how many people are in prison for marijuana are just ridiculous. Any one person in prison for marijuana is a waste. Number 7, drug cartels in the black market will continue to function under legalization. Since we can't get rid of it entirely, let's not get rid of any of it. On what planet is this logic? I just don't understand it. Says the Mexican drug trafficking groups. This is their own statement on the website. The Mexican drug trafficking groups only received a minority of their revenue, 15 to 25% for marijuana. So why are we going to let them keep that? Why don't we take that away from them? It's only going to hurt them a quarter of their business. Great! Let's do that. And when we know from other industries they'll do all sorts of illegal other stuff, they'll continue to be criminals. Yes, because they're criminals. They will continue to commit crime. The question is, why do you want to let criminals be in charge of the marijuana market? Number 8, don't trust Europe. Neither Portugal nor Holland provides any successful example of legalization, despite the fact that their AIDS injection contract rates are much, much lower, and their use of marijuana amongst teens and adults are much, much lower, and their addiction relapses are much, much lower, and they have far, far fewer people in prison. The Netherlands has to close prisons because they don't have enough people to put in them. Number 9. Marijuana has medicinal properties, but we shouldn't smoke the plant in order to derive those benefits, just like we don't smoke opium to get the benefits of morphine. Well, that's good because that opium, that's some heavy shit, man. See, opium ain't marijuana, dude. There's reasons why that we don't want people smoking opium for a medicinal benefit, because it's got serious side effects that marijuana doesn't have. He also tries to throw in, the average marijuana user is a male in his 30s with no terminal illness. Well, gee, if the average medical marijuana user is a male in his 30s, doesn't that mean medical marijuana is moving the age group to an older demographic, considering the average pot smoker is 27? And less than 2% of the users have cancer or AIDS. Yeah, those stupid people that are faking seizures and spasms and nausea and pain and glaucoma, post-traumatic stress, fakers. And finally, the experience from Colorado is not promising. Really, which part isn't promising? The increased tourism, the increased property values, the lower crime, the $30 million in tax revenues, the 10,000 direct jobs and thousands of more other jobs involved with the industry, and no attendant rise in smoking rates? Which part is not promising? That's all the time we got for Big Island's A&R Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it,
You dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you